Here again with another video on how to deck build and draft. This time we are going to talk about all the cards related to Dromai. What cards are good, what cards are bad, so let's just get right to it. Okay, so this is Dromai. Let's just get a little refresher on her. Whenever you pitch a red card, create an Ash token. Whenever you play a red card, dragons you control have to go again while attacking. That should be noted that it's dragons, not draconic attack actions, so keep that in mind. Let's go over each and every card. We'll try to make this as quick as possible. And then just a quick reminder, Storm and Sandakai, your dragon allies have a 0 attack. Okay. Silken Form is one of the best Quell equipments, I believe, just because in the same turn, I think you can make the most out of both abilities. You can pitch a red to Quell 1, which would give you an Ash with Dromai's ability, and then before the end phase here, you can destroy it to transform an Ash into an Aether Ash Wing. That's perfect, that's what we want to see. Okay, so let's move down the line here. Burn them all. Guys, I want to say that this is a trap card. I will pass this card in draft all the damn time. Because this does not give all your dragons once per turn effect. The card itself has once per turn. So, you can only deal 1 arcane damage once per turn. That's not good enough for me to want to play out. The only time I think I would devote a card to play it, or play it out, is like turn 1 if I'm going first. Otherwise, I think blocks are 3. So, you know, if there's nothing better, I guess you take it, but you pass that all day long. Okay, so now let's look at some dragons. So, excuse me. Okay. So we have Optimi. Optimi attacks, reveal top 3 cards, deal arc damage number red. Optimi is interesting because Optimi, the invoke, costs 6, and that's quite a bit, especially if you're trying to do a red deck. It's a majestic, so if you want it, you take it. I think if you're honestly trying to win the draft, you still take it. If it's pack 1, pick 1. It's not enough people to would know that you're going Dromai with this pick because it's just a good dragon. I don't think anyone gets blamed or gets marked as Dromai just by picking this. Especially yourself. Don't just think if you get this pack 1, pick 1 that you're Dromai. Definitely keep yourself open. This is a very good dragon. If it gets out, it's very hard to kill, but it's just so costly. I ran this dragon in a sealed deck with 5 red or 5 blues. I never got to play it, which is unfortunate. Invoke Tomotai costs a little less, still on the expensive side though, honestly. And then attacks here will reveal top 2 cards of the deck. If 1 more red card, put in maybe 1 defense counter on it, and then if it has 0, destroy it. Also, the ability is not as good as Optimi. It's a majestic dragon. If you want to take it, you take it. It is 5 for 5, so it is hard to kill. You gotta draft this card, but you don't have to be Dromai. If you draft this card, this does not pivot you into Dromai, certainly. But just, if you play it though, it's so good. So you have to take it. You just don't feel awesome about it. Now, Dominia costing 4, a bit out of range. Sorry about that. A bit out of range, but very good. Very good. So, I guess let's just look at the ability, not the invocation. Whenever attacks a hero, reveal top card of your deck. It's a red card. Look at the hand and banish card from it. This is what you want to do. You want to have a red deck where a lot of red cards are. You'll probably have a blue or yellow in there, so costing 4 isn't the worst thing. It isn't as strong, so it can die fairly easy, but banishing a card is such a huge deal with this dragon. So I really like Dominia a lot. I think that one you can slam pick and feel happy with it. Alright, so now we're on to the rare dragons. So now we have Azulai. This is an invocation of 0, so that's very good. Attacks, you may have him deal 1 arcane arrows up to 2 targets. That's great for like the mirror. It's also just a good dragon that's probably going to have to take a attack in order to kill it, because your opponent probably doesn't want to keep the Japanese dragon around. It costs 0, makes it always available. So honestly, this could be a pack one pick here. It's very good as far as Dragon Sense goes. Dromai costs another 0 cost dragon. This one is 2 or 3 with 2 health. And then when it attacks with these arena, gain 1 action point. Honestly, not the biggest fan of Dromai. There's not a lot of stuff that breaks Phantasm here, so getting the action point I don't think is that big of a deal. And the dragon is fairly weak, so like a couple of phoenixes can just kill this dragon, and Apai's really happy with that. So I am not huge on Dromai. Kyloria cost 1. 1 is almost just as good as 0, just because when you pay 1, you create an Ash. And so then you can turn that Ash into Kyloria, which is awesome. Whenever it hits a hero, gain control of an item they control. If they don't gain control of any, or if you don't gain control of any items, draw a card. That's very good. The defense is down on this card, but coming in for 4 and being able to draw a card is amazing. You'll never get an item in limited, and that's fine. Drawing a card is good enough. Again, the 2 health, but this is a much better effect. Alright, Mirror Guy costs 1. The first dragon, each attack each turn, lose and can't gain Phantasm. Again, Phantasm is just kind of a busted ability in this set, because there's not much that can break it, so I don't think that's super important. This does have a tough, or a life of 4, and that's okay. That's actually not bad, but the dragon itself just isn't doing a lot for me to really want it. So yeah, I'm not picking that pack one, pick one. Honestly, there's probably other stuff, even commons, that would pick over that. So Necria costs 3, and then Necria has whenever deals or dealt damage with a -1 counter on her and create an Ash token with a life starting at 7 and swinging it for 4. That's very good. I understand it costs 3, but that's not the worst, honestly. Probably you're going to have a few yellows in that deck, maybe even a blue or so. So Necria is pretty good. I like that. Obia costs 2. And then at the start of your turn, or when Obia enters arena, transfer 1 Ash you control. I keep doing that, I'm sorry guys. You control into an Aether Ashwing. That's very, very good. Attack power of 1 and a life of 6. The attack power obviously lacks a little bit, but the ability and even the life is so good. So Obia is very, very good. I would definitely pick Obia over many cards. Tamai, opponents can't play or activate abilities during your turn, so obviously this is an anti-Icelander card. But then if we just kind of look at it, it comes in for 3, it has a life of 4, and the invocation is 2, so it's affordable. So I honestly think you can just play this card into Fi as well, and force them to use a resource to kill this, otherwise you're dealing 3 damage each turn. So that's not bad at all. So you know, Tamai is good. I would say draft him. Vincerikai costs 3, so that's okay. Hits a hero, deals 3 arcane damage to them. So it's kind of like a 3 for 9 with Phantasm, and that's pretty good. Again, not much to destroy cards with Phantasm. So 3 for 9 is just super powerful. I understand it has a 1 health, but if it's just like an attack action card that's 3 for 9, you would play it. So I think Vincerikai is very good. Yindurai costs 1. Enters with Endurance counter. If you dealt damage, move Endurance counter from him to prevent 3 of that damage. That's pretty good. We'll take that as well. It's almost like having 6 life, but it does require 2 attacks basically. So very, very good, and yeah, would definitely recommend having this card or drafting it. Now let's look at Bellowing Mirage. This one's 1 for 3, and then the next two are 1 for 2, 1 for 1. Whenever you attack Bellowing Mirage, transform up to 1 Ash you control into an Aether Ash Wings. This card, because it costs 1, will create an Ash if you pitch a red, ideally. And you can turn that Ash to Aether Ash Wing. So I really like this card on top of the fact that it has Go Again and doesn't have Phantasm, so it keeps the chain rolling. Big fan of Bellowing Mirage. Would take most of the dragons over her, or all the dragons over her, but when we're talking about commons, I do like this card quite a bit. Doombreaker, Sinapie, if it's destroyed, create an Ash token. It does have Phantasm, it does also have Go Again on its own, which is nice. Because, again, Dromai's ability doesn't give your Draconic attacks Go Again, just Dragon allies. I think this card's okay. I'm beating a dead horse at this, but not many things break Phantasm here, so. Dust Up, 0 for 4. When Dust Up creates an Ash token, transform up 1 Ash you control, or when it hits, create an Ash token, and then transform an Ash in an Aether Ash Wing. That's very good. It doesn't have Go Again, but it blocks for 3 and it comes in for 4 for 0, and that's good value. I like this card quite a bit. Alright, Ember Maw, Sinapie, when it's destroyed, create an Ash token. This one does have Phantasm, comes to 2 for 8, no Go Again. It costing 2 might be a little too much for its effect, but 2 for 8, it's obviously very good, a very good rate, so I wouldn't overlook it. I would probably try to get Bellowing Mirage or Dust Up before I grab this, but it's not the worst. I would only really want it in like red and yellow, not really going for blue. Sweeping Blow, not very impressed with Sweeping Blow, to be honest. I would much rather have had Bellowing Mirage instead. So, yeah, not very impressed with Sweeping Blow. Rake the Embers is one of the best common cards that I would even take over some of those bad dragons. Rake the Embers, create an Ash token, then transform up to 3 Ash you control Aether Ash Wings. Yeah, I mean, costing 1, that's creating an Ash right there. So at worst, this gives you 2 Aether Ash Wings, but at best 3, all for 1 resource. So very, very good card. Yellow one I would take as well. The blue one I could probably let that wheel. All these cards I'm letting wheel, by the way. Maybe I'll take some red Dust Ups and red Bellowing Mirage, but if they're any other color, I'd honestly let them wheel. Skittering Sands, transform target Ash you control into an Aether Ash Wing, gains +3 until the end of turn, 0 Go Again. Not bad, not bad. Not the best, it only blocks for 2. I would just let these wheel. Sand Cover, target Ash you control gains ward 4, and it goes ward 3, ward 2. Again, I'm going to let these wheel. So really, when it comes down to the commons, I'm going to take Rake the Embers, but everything else is rare that I'll take first. Okay, so let's see. We have, alright, one more thing we need to look at with, so not talented with Dromai, is the Illusionist. So obviously you take an L if you see an L. Silent Stilettos, whenever an attacking ally you control dies or an attack action card you control is destroyed by Phantasm, you may pay 3. If you do destroy Silent Stilettos, gain 1 action point. It has Arcane Barrier 1. I'm not very impressed with this. I honestly would consider taking the Quelling Slippers over Silent Stilettos. It doesn't block, none of the equipment does in this set. The common ones at least. It has Arcane Barrier, but your Aether Ash Wings are going to have Arcane Barrier. So, not the worst thing. Sorry, guys. Oh my gosh. My computer's freaking out here. Then we have Frightmare. 3 for 13, which is obviously very cool. Play Frightmare only if Illusion's attack action card you control has been destroyed with Phantasm this turn. This is not a good card. Like, it looks so cool, but it's just honestly not a good card. 3 for 13 is a great return rate, but like the fact that you have to have a card broken by Phantasm before you can play this card is what really deters me, and I'm gonna pass this card all day long in a draft. Same with Semblance. Negate all Phantasm triggered effects that target illusions attack you control, and then attack losing can't gain Phantasm. Yeah, I'm not playing that either, honestly. That's being passed all day long. Alright, finally, Transmogrify. The next attack action card you play this turn is Lucianus, has 8 base power and gains Phantasm. Not the worst, honestly. Not the worst. You can maybe do it with a Bellowing Mirage. That might feel kind of cool. I wouldn't prioritize them very highly. I'd maybe do them over the Ember Moss in a pie, but that's about it. So, again, I have a sheets that I will share. And if you want to check out where I rank all these Dromai cards in comparison to one another, you can check that out. Otherwise, I will see you in the next hero video.